Hey basketball players, today I'm going to be talking to you about which finger should be releasing the basketball, because I've been asked in the comments by numerous subscribers on which fingers to release the ball on, because there's three different combinations that you can have to release that ball. So there are three different types of shooters when it comes to the fingers that you release from. There's players like myself and very strong advocates for myself to release the ball from your middle finger, because that is your longest finger on your hand. Now, there are players who do release the ball from their ring finger and their middle finger, and also their pointer finger and their middle finger. Now, if you have a squared up shot, if your shoulders and hips are the exact same distance from the backboard and the rim, now I'm going to say to you that you should probably have a middle finger release, because that is going to be the middle finger on your hand, the longest finger. And especially if you are squared up towards the rim and you have your elbow underneath the ball, you have your shoulder in line with your elbow towards the rim. Now, what that's going to do for you is to be able to have you a straight shot. And if you go up and have that ball go off those two fingers, what's going to happen is the ball is going to go right, even though your shooting form is perfect. And then on the flip side, if you're squared up and you have the ball go off these two fingers, the ball is going to go left, even though your shooting form is perfect. This is generally what happens with player shots when they keep on missing, and we as trainers or coaches cannot pinpoint what is going on. What we need to do is to really videotape the player from behind and to be able to see what finger they're releasing from, and then have them practice close to the rim. You never want to take three-point shots when you're practicing a new form, even though it's a small tweak. And what you want to do is to be right in front of that rim and try to have them roll that ball off their middle finger. Now, if you have a slight difference, so let's say we're talking about a Dragic from the Miami Heat. When he shoots, he's a left-handed player, and he shoots with his body away from the rim, and that is to get this arm straight, because he cannot shoot straight with his body squared up. He's shooting off towards the side. And now, this is going to, even though he's got this to go with a straight shot, this is still going to be tilting this way, which now means that he needs to be shooting with those two fingers 90% of the time. Now, if you're like Boucher from the Raptors, and you're shooting, even though you're slightly off this way, he's right-handed, so he actually tilts his body slightly off from the rim, and he actually shoots from over his head like this with his arm out. This was his form before they changed it, and he used to shoot off the side of his hand. Now he's actually square towards the net, but he still shoots with his arm really in this time instead of being out. And now with him, he's squared up towards the rim. His arm is too far underneath that ball, and that means he needs to shoot with that pointer finger and that middle finger. What I'm basically getting to is I need you to go and record your shots, and then go and see, is your shot straight? If your shot is straight, how are you releasing that ball? If you're getting it in, don't change anything. If you're missing a lot of your shots, try and figure out why. Everything needs to come up from your feet. Are your feet level or even towards the rim? Are your hips? Are your chest or your shoulders? And then you need to go up from there. And if your arm is too far underneath that ball, you may need to go off of the pointer finger and the middle finger. If you're squared up like I am, you want to go off that middle finger. And then if you're way off like Dragic, you need to go off of your ring finger and your middle finger. Now, something that a lot of coaches don't talk about is having your hand on the ball and how to have your hand on the ball. You really want to have your hand spread out on the ball as much as you can. And the reason for this is because now you are going to have more control over that ball. This also comes into effect on which finger you need to release the ball from. If your wrist cannot go straight on that ball, if you can't get that wrist back and straight like I have it right now, then if your wrist only goes like this, you're definitely going to be shooting off those two fingers. If your wrist turns like this, and a lot of players do and they cannot turn it, this is a big adjustment to go from here to here. If you're going like this, even though your elbow is underneath that ball, you need to be able to shoot off of those two fingers. Now, adjusting your shot is a big thing to do. If you're shooting over 40% in game, I really don't want you to shoot any differently. But if you're shooting under 40, definitely under 30% in game, there's going to be a few tweaks that you really need to look at doing. Because if you're not shooting over 35% from three, then you're actually wasting possessions. So when you're learning a new form, even a small tweak, like which finger to have it roll off from, start super close to the rim. Don't go and chuck up three-point shots, NBA three-point shots, and think that it's going to automatically change your shot. You need to go and take at least 1,000 shots close before you change anything in your shot. As soon as you change something, 1,000 shots close to the rim, and then you're able to then extend your range out, because changing your shooting form is a big thing, even if it's a small tweak as to which finger you release the ball from. And I can't stress it enough, every single time you step on the court, whether it's for practice or for a game, don't go start shooting up three-point shots. What I want you to do is to get really close to that rim and shoot swishes. If you can't get a swish, that's totally fine. Aim for at least 10 swishes. Go over to the side and start hitting bank shots. Now the backboard's wet, but I should still be able to make it. And then start extending your range out. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I hope that this video has helped you become a better shooter. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.